So imagine there is a public policy debate called critical race theory taking place in your local community, your local public school district. Only there's a problem in terms of getting your voice heard in that policy debate. The government has set up a vicious, violent thug on the door of the room to stop you entering to even have your voice heard. What you're about to see on this tape is highlights of the Pennsbury School Board in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, public meeting, May 2021. The players in this video, just to give you the background, are as follows. The presiding officer of the meeting is elected public official, vice president of the school board, Joshua Waldorf. He was standing in for the president who was missing that day. The voice that you will hear in the background shouting at citizens is the taxpayer-funded solicitor, the counsel to the school district, Peter Amuso of the law firm Rudolph Clark. There are 3 citizens who you will see on this tape that are trying to speak to the school board during public comment.
So let me clearly state, our taxpayer dollars are not monopoly money for you to play with. The misuse of legal services by this board needs to stop. Pivoting, I do want to take a moment to remark over the disturbing misconduct by this board during the April school board meeting when members of this board staged a prepared personal attack on community member Doug Marshall. During those prepared attacks, board members misrepresented facts around equities in schools, presented unindexed statistics that have no reflection on Pennsbury.
You know what? I'm going to stop you there. We're not going to tolerate misrepresentation of facts around equity. So that's irrelevant, and you can stop.
In your opinion?
No, you can stop, Mr. Daly. You're done.
You sure you want to do that, Mr.
Yes,
Amuso?
I do.
All right, we'll see you in court, sir. Just a reminder, you didn't need an equity.
I said you're done.
You didn't need an equity officer.
I said you're done. Mr. Daly, sit down.
At the last meeting, the equity and critical race theory audit was reviewed, and the crux of that was that there were different...
I apologize. It's not what it's called. That is not...
That's how I'm addressing it, and
that's not what it's called.
That's what I'm calling it.
I understand,
Then
but that's not what it's
your
called.
comments are irrelevant then if you're not going to call it by the right term.
This
is the equity policy.
Look, some people call
It's the equity policy.
All right. I'm telling you what I think it is, but if you'd like, I'll use your term, although I disagree with it. Fair enough?
Equity policy. Go ahead.
The curriculum that's being used here in Pennsbury, diversity, inclusivity, and equity, and it's known by other phrases nationwide, often cherry picks facts to create what I feel is a predetermined narrative, which again stigmatizes certain groups of people. And yet there are many facts that are not included in the curriculum, which I think just aren't included because they don't fit the official narrative. For example, first-generation Nigerian immigrants excel to the top of the academic socioeconomic ladder of success. Or... All
right. We're just... You're getting into irrelevant things. We're just going to stop you there. You're done.
Who made you the king of this board?
You're done. You're done. We're not going to take it, that is irrelevant.
That's important because it breaks.
You're done, Mr.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
done.
you are, Mr.
No,
Marshall. You're done. You are done.
I will sue you as well.
You're done.
No, I'm not.
You're done.
What? Based on what?
Board policy 903. You are now being disruptive and disorderly. You're done.
You're the one.
You're done.
You know what?
You're finished.
You can count on being sued. I'm going to sue you.
65%, considering the diversity program, 65% are extremely happy now, 27% were neutral, 8% were unhappy. So we're going to build a multi-million-dollar program for the 8% that are unhappy. I'll bring the 8% in here. Let them meet with.
All right. You're done. You're done. We're not going through this again, Mr. Abrams. That is not what the equity program is about, and we're not going to sit here and listen to you. You're done. You're done. You're done.
Honestly, after what you did to the last two, I think you are.
You're done. You've already violated the board policy. According to the policy, your public comment has been terminated.
And it was only after I found out that this had taken place that I showed up at the June meeting and let it rip on the solicitor and the school board in the video that went viral.
I'm here to speak today. I believe, Gary, you said it was item KKK in the agenda book. Well, isn't that just a perfect summation of what it is I'm here to talk about? KKK, your proposed new school board policy, seeking once again to limit the constitutionally protected speech of American citizens. Now, when I sat on this school board, I believe some of you old-timers might remember this. A union guy spoke at public comment for 5 minutes and ripped me a new one. He called me the bastard child of Margaret Thatcher. And I sat there and I said to myself, okay, fair enough. Welcome to America. He considers me a bastard because I'm in the government. His logic is sound. Now, what happened was the superintendent and the school solicitor at the time freaked out and they didn't put the tape online the next day. And I called them up and I said, get the tape online now before we get sued for censorship. I yelled at the solicitor and I asked him what law school he went to, because it was clearly constitutionally protected rhetorical hyperbole. I can cite the case if you'd like. And I said to Paul Long, the superintendent at the time, don't ever cut the tape again, Paul. And by the way, bastard child of Margaret Thatcher, I took it as a compliment. Now, you snowflakes apparently have a bigger problem with public comment. It seems to me that you think you can supersede the United States Constitution. Well, I've got news for you, School Board President Benito Mussolini. Your power does not supersede that of the US Constitution and the First Amendment rights of the citizens of this great nation. Let's be very, very clear who has the power.
Mr.
It is
Campbell,
not government policy. Do not warn me or do not interrupt my time.
That if you
interrupt my
make
time,
personal
do
insults
not
like that
interrupt
again,
my
or
time.
if you personally direct your comments, you will
Let
be
me
asked
be very
to
clear.
step away from the podium.
I'm going to
I am
quote
asking
to you,
again, make
solicitor.
your comments,
I'm
but
quoting,
do not
just
do
a minute, do
name
not
calling
talk
like
over
you
me.
just did.
This is my comment, not your comment. I'm quoting to you now from the United States Supreme Court 1964 case, New York Times versus Sullivan. This is constitutional case law in this country, and I'm quoting you from the US Supreme Court. The judges wrote that this nation is founded on the, quote, profound national commitment to the principle that debate on public issues shall be uninhibited, robust, and wide open, and that it may well include vehement, caustic, and sometimes unpleasantly sharp attacks on government and public officials. That's constitutional case law in this nation. I don't have to be nice to you. Nobody behind me has to be nice to you. If you don't like living in the United States of America, then you can all move to Russia, Cuba, or China. This is the First Amendment. And I will caution you, solicitor. There is a video camera to my left. If you edit this tape, then you're going to have a big legal problem on your hands, because my right to critique your fascism, which is what this is constitutionally protected. There are emails, public record emails, in which the Director of Equity is lobbying and advocating for public comment to be censored in this school district. And you know what? Lobbying for it, advocating for it. We've got the school board president saying she'll do better at hitting the mute button in blatant violation of the Constitution. For her lobbying and her advocacy of unconstitutional censorship, I want you, the school board, to terminate the employment of Dr. Charissa Gibson with immediate effect. And after you've terminated her employment, I want all of you to tender your resignations for hating on this country. We have a God-given constitutional right to critique you, and we can speak in any lawful tone that we see fit. And don't go looking around, Benito, because this is the United States of America. You have a good... one more thing. I'm going to make a verbal request right now for an unedited copy of the tape. So if any of you delete it, you're going to have a big legal problem. Good night.
Everybody, whether you're conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, this is what the radical left are doing. We don't get to the policy debate on critical race theory when the radical left are using the tools and power of government to shut you up, to silence you, to intimidate you, to call you a racist, and to treat you this way. I want everybody watching this to get involved locally. I want this to be an activist channel, not just a talking heads channel. But I need you to subscribe and like so we can talk about how to fight back against this fascism, because that's what it is. So like, subscribe, drop a comment.